So in terms of the reality of the South Korea-China relations, I think Beijing has perceived the inauguration of the new Yoon administration as posing significant uncertainty to the relationship between Beijing and Seoul. And this is not just because President Yoon, during his election campaign, has vowed to consolidate and strengthen South Korea's alliance relationship with the United States, as well as to recalibrate or distance South Korea away from China. I think the Chinese are more concerned about the overall change of trend in the region, which is that under the Biden administration, US is trying to consolidate and strengthen its alliances and partnerships in the region. And for the past 10 years, China has or had perceived South Korea as a victory for the Chinese competition for regional influence with the United States. That the success of China, for example, to convince South Korea to join AIIB and convince former President Park to join the military parade in Beijing back in 2015, those were all signs that the Chinese believe that the neutrality that China wants to see from South Korea between US and China is being gradually achieved and also consolidated. But now with President Yoon, what the Chinese has perceived is, well, all the achievements for the past 10 years, it could be reversed by the new administration in Seoul, and the Chinese have to contemplate what is the consequences of that. On top of that, there's of course the issue of North Korea, where the Chinese also perceive that North Korea is both China's strategic asset in terms of leverage against South Korea, but at the same time, it's also a major strategic liability. So for example, at this time, I think we are all anticipating that North Korea will provoke in the foreseeable future. But for the Chinese, that's like the worst case scenario for China-South Korea relations. Because the Chinese know very well that by the time that North Korea provokes, South Korea is going to turn to both US and China for assistance. And the assistance that China can provide is going to be unsatisfactory and will be very limited. So as a result, or the consequences of that is that US-South Korea security alliance will be consolidated and strengthened as a result of North Korea provocation, and China has everything to lose, which is why the Chinese are particularly concerned about a North Korean provocation at this time. But looking at President Yoon's China policy, I would say that he also faces significant challenges for this recalibration to be conducted or implemented. At a minimum, China remains to be the largest trading partner of South Korea, and I believe that export to China constitute about 25.3% of South Korea's total export. It's not that China is going to react with a major economic sanction like what we saw in 2016 against the THAAD deployment decision, at least not for the beginning of President Yoon's presidency. But after a year, and if Beijing does decide and draws a conclusion that South Korea has irreversibly, at least under the Yoon administration, irreversibly changed its alignment choices between US and China and decides to antagonize China on issues related to, for example, the regional security framework, then I think more severe actions or retaliations will be on its way from the Chinese perspective.